Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. What on earth? Oh, that's right. We have not moved into this house yet, and I am here to show you what I'm going to do with making some determinations on some doors that need to be fixed or not need to be fixed before the painters come here. We've got some painters. We decided to have everything painted in this house before moving in, just to keep everything, get everything fresh. This is the best time to have painting be done before you move into a place, if you decide you really want to have it done. Now, this place was painted about 8 years ago, and granted, it could go on a little bit longer. I saw a place here in the ceiling. Do you happen to see that, where the paint's not blending in right in through there? That's because an electrician one time relocated one of those lights up in the ceiling, and he fell through. He wasn't walking properly on the ceiling joists or the trusses up above. He fell through, and sheetrockers had to come patch that, and then they painted that. But no matter what you do, there's no way you can ever paint something and blend it in if you're only going to do a patch. See that? That was professionals doing it. That's their paint lined. You can only see that at a glare, because if you look straight up, most of the time you can't see stuff, see? When you're looking straight up, it's hard to see it, isn't it? When you look back, and if you get shadows and stuff like that, you can generally see it. And I could see where somebody tried to do some other painting right over in there. See around the light switch, the light can light, you can kind of see an outline where it goes boom, 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 boom. And it looks like somebody else did that, but it wasn't this patch here. But whenever you try to do a patch on a ceiling, you basically, the only way to have done that right would have been to paint this entire ceiling. You can see over here, initially when they painted the ceiling, they did it with the roller. Do you see the roller lines over there? I can see 1, 2, 3, and then there's another highlight there, because they rolled this and they have too much paint on one area, not enough paint on the other. That's where they ended up stopping the rolling marks. It's kind of hard to do a ceiling like this and take your roller and go all the way across in one pass when you get all done, instead of going a little bit and then doing this whole thing and then coming over here. And that's what happened. So I'm not sure painters are going to come in here and paint. I'm not sure if he's going to spray paint with a spray rig and back roll it, or what he's going to do. I'm going to be interested in seeing what he happens to do with that. But anyways, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. We're talking about the doors. So let's talk about the doors. Because the painter is going to be here, he's actually going to paint all the door frames, all the door jambs, the trim, the baseboard, and the actual doors. So before he gets here, I got to make sure, and that's going to be about 5 days from now, 4 days, I'm going to make sure that all these doors are adjusted properly, they're closing properly. Because I don't want these doors to be rubbing or anything and make the assumption, oh yeah, everything's fine. I opened and closed a couple doors and they were fine. You know, make the assumption that all the other doors are fine. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to check all the doors in here. I'm going to make sure they all close properly. Because if they need to be any adjustments, I can do that now, can't I, before the painters come here. Last thing I want is for a door to be sagging and hitting the door jamb and putting a rub on the side of the door jamb as well as the side of the door, and then find out after the painters come, the same thing's going to happen, and then I'm going to have to fix it. And then later have somebody come back here and paint again? I don't want to do that. So I'm going to check these doors. I'm going to close the doors, look up there and see about the gaps. See, this one looks fine. See, the gap looks fine. I checked all the way down. The gap looks good. I checked over here. Everything seems to be all in order. Everything looks tight. I open and close the door, make sure it closes properly. I mean, even the strike plate, if it see how right there, I might want to adjust that strike plate, because I don't know what the painters are going to do. In fact, you see how loose, how it was adjusting there? It's because this strike plate doesn't have a little nib on there, an adjustment. Look how they pulled it out. See, it could have been pushed over tight, and there was a little bit of a gap there, wasn't there? when the door was closing. I'm just seeing that. See? When everything's done, that's my pet peeve. When I close a door, I want it to be closed properly. I don't want it to be doing that business, especially a bathroom door or a bedroom door. See, when I look at this bathroom, you see the strike plate here? See this little nib in there? See there's a little hole right there? That's for once you install your strike plate, if it's still chattering a little bit, you can put a little screwdriver in that notch, a flat standard screwdriver, and then you can take this and kind of bend it out. See how this one's kind of going in at an angle? You see that? See how it's pushed in at an angle? That's to take the slop out of there, and they did that so that this door could fit. Look at that. That's nice. See how that it's not chattering at all, and that's because they adjusted it right there. And since I'm up here, I'm looking at the door. This one looks fine. Okay, and look at that. That one looks good. And so I'm gonna check all the doors. I'm even gonna check the exterior, the door going out into the garage. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna look at that, and this one actually looks good. But I'm also gonna go out if you got other doors, because they're gonna be painting in here. Talk to the painters. They're gonna paint this garage too. Since they're gonna paint the garage, I know they're gonna be painting this door. So I'm gonna take a look at that, and I'm gonna look up there and see about that one. And I think this one's fine. And the gaps looks good and everything. But you hear that? It's hitting something. And see, this is the deadbolt. I can adjust this later, but since I'm here, I'm gonna explain this real quick. Okay, let's just imagine the door's closed and this goes straight up, okay? Now let's see. When the door's open, let's see if this is straight up. Is it locked all the way? If it's locked all the way, I shouldn't be able to push this in. I shouldn't be able to do that. See, this is clicked all the way. It's clicked right about there. And before, I was only going up that far. And so anybody can get in there. If they take a putty knife or a pocket knife or anything from the outside, they could wedge in there, and they could just back that deadbolt off, because it's not locked. It doesn't latch until there. See, now I can't push that in. See, that's because they didn't drill that out far enough. This has to be notched out further. That's something I'm going to end up doing, so that when this closes, this can lock. Because right now, it's like this door not having a deadbolt. Granted, it's got the lock here. This door is only secured by the bottom lock, and obviously now that it's got the alarm, it's controlled up there, but it's not controlled by the deadbolt. You need to check your deadbolts and make sure that goes in all the way, and that it actually is clicked so the deadbolt doesn't go through. That's a very good tip for you. And okay, that's something I could do after the painters are done, but let's just keep checking. That's what this video is about. I've checked these exterior doors. They seem to be okay. I even checked like these double doors. Lots of times double doors have a tendency to sag or not be adjusted properly. And this one, to lock it, you push that pin up, and I'm not going to have to do that just to check this to see how these are. And these look really good. See the gap up there? I mean, look at that. That's almost perfect. See, we're looking just at that joint. And the top edge of those doors are almost in line. The one on the left is a little bit higher, but we can't really raise the one up on the right, because if we raise it up, this gap, this vertical gap, will get bigger. And the door's not sagging. It doesn't look like it's sagging. I look, and the seam looks pretty straight all the way down. So if I were to raise that door up, that gap's going to get bigger there, and it could get tighter down there. So I'm going to look at that, and I think that door is actually pretty good. I'm going to leave that one alone. Okay, but lots of times your double doors, you may have to do some adjustments. Okay, here's another double door over here. Let's take a look at these. Okay. Now that's odd. These doors are solid. That double door is solid. This one's solid, but it's got the glass inserts. And lots of the other interior doors in this house are hollow. See, those are solid. And here's another bedroom down here. And let's see. See, this one's hollow. And the bathroom door, hollow. They could have done a nice upgrade, and they could have made these solid. They could have made that a solid because it's a bathroom door for the noise and flushing and stuff. They could have made the bedroom doors solid. This is just a closet. They could have left this a hollow core. Look at that. I got some marks on there because I've been messing with the doors. I'm gonna have to make sure to clean that off now. But to lessen the cost of these tall doors, these 8-foot tall doors, you could have hollow core doors going into a closet, let's say like this. See, you don't need solid ones there. Let's see about see, that's hollow too, and that's where the washer and dryer goes. They could have put solid, but either way, let's just keep talking about these doors. Okay, these are solid. I'm glad for the master bedroom they put solid, and the doors are closed. I'm looking up there, and that's, you know, I'm gonna get up there in a ladder later, but I'm able to look at this now because I got the video camera and I'm just zooming it in. See how the door on the right, there's actually a gap. If anything, it's the very opposite. Usually you see a door and the door is usually sagging, okay? And I see the big gap there, and that's something I could fix by taking this door and actually moving it over to the right. How am I going to do that? We're just going to have to watch my next videos and see how I'm going to do that, okay? This is just to identify different things of what I'm going to do, what things could be done, okay? I see the gap along the top. It's a little bit bigger in the middle, right there. Not too bad on the left-hand door. See over to the far left, that's about the gap that you want. But see, it's a little bit lower there. It's not that bad for being as tall of a door as it is. For me to fix that, I would have to take this left-hand door and I would have to raise that up. But if I raised it up, it's going to make the gap between these two doors even that much bigger. See the gap that there is now? Right there. So I think I might end up, I know I'm going to have to take this door and move it down, okay? Once I move it down, I think that's all I'm going to have to do to fix that. So that's all I'm going to have to do with this door. Okay, there's a bathroom, a closet door. I looked at that. That all looks fine. I do the same types of things. I can check that. That's nice. The gap is fine. The gap is fine all the way up. It's fine across there. This gap. Usually, whatever gap you have on the hinge side, you can't really do too much about it if you don't want to touch anything on this side. And the gap looks fine. I'm bearing in mind knowing that once the doors get painted, do I have to do anything else? This is kind of different. It's just a little area that goes into the bathroom area, and I don't, you know, usually you could just leave this an opening. You know, they decided to put two little small doors here, and they've got the little hinge spring different goodies on there, and it just fits into a little strike plate up there. And when I look at that all looks pretty good. You know, see the gaps there? And that gap's about the same all the way down. Looks good. See? It opens and closes good. That one's fine. I didn't look in here in the bathroom. Look at this strike plate. They did a little goober there. For some reason, the strike plate was mortised up high, or it was up to there. And see, it looks like they had to lower the strike plate down for some reason because this door wasn't latching. And see, whoever installed this door initially, the door jamb. See how the big gap is way up high? It's not because it's really sagged, because the vertical line looks like it's good. See, this edge. This gap right here looks pretty good all the way down.